Welcome to the No Plays Off podcast. That's right, we're back again. It's Sports Talk Weekly, dropping every week. This week it may drop on Wednesday, right? I think Wednesday's the day we're going to settle on. I'm good for Wednesday. Are you good for Wednesday?
Maybe. I mean, listen, baseball season's right around the corner for you, boy. So, listen, we're really no plays off, no days off, no nothing off.
It's all of it. It's all of it. Hey, look. I'm going back to the restaurant. It's going to be crazy. A lot of things going on, just kind of like you and I. We're about to start up some new stuff. But that's the way life goes, man. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the new. We're here for the old. We're here to laugh, joke. We're here to do a lot of things, man. But it's Sports Talk Weekly. I'm excited to be here. I'm Alex. That's Paul. Hey, let's do it, man. What you got on the list for us this week, man?
All right. So, again, this is everybody knows what it is. It's NBA season. We're going to be talking NBA. We're going to be doing this or that, little player comparisons. This is the time of the season where you really can get into who would you rather have. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. Okay. A little resurgence in the Lakers. Okay. So above 500,
really?
9 seed right now. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and mock the top 10 most important people in the Super Bowl. Okay.
Love that.
But first of all, listen, it's no plays off, playoff. We're going to start off with the playoff games. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Unbelievable championship round. I loved it. Football. It's what it's made for. It's what January's about.
Listen, I want to start with
the best football. Hold on. Some of the best football we've seen and some of the dumbest coaching I've ever seen in my life. And we're going to talk about that.
We are going to get into that. But I want to start with the first game. Okay. So the very first game on Sunday, your AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, there's a question. Let's go first reaction to the game. What did you see first reaction? Then we'll kind of dive into deeper questions.
Yeah, first reaction. Hey, listen, Kansas City does it again. I don't know that there'll ever be another point in my life. There was a time where it was like, trust Manning in the regular season and never doubt Tom Brady in the playoffs. I think now we just have to say never doubt Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Like, it is what it is. He's reached that level at Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, playoff Pat's just different. We're going to get into him. Listen, this game was so odd. It was such a weird game to watch. It was still a great game to watch, but it was such a weird game to watch. And the real question is your boy, right? We got to talk about the dude. We got to talk about everybody's MVP. Is there a bigger question mark in the league than Lamar Jackson at quarterback?
Wow. Hey, listen, I want to say this. Let's go over some stuff really quick. Lamar Jackson, 20 of 37, 272 yards, threw a touchdown, threw a pick. But 37 pass attempts? Listen, when I said there was some dumb coaching, some of the dumbest coaching I've seen, this is one that I have to go on. And I don't know if John Harbaugh was so pressured to do what his brother did in college this year with Michigan. Might I say I was right about that? So Michigan Wolverines win national championship. Was John just so pressured that he was like, hey, we got to do something different? What are we doing? Did he forget how to coach? Why did he run the ball 15 times? And Lamar Jackson was 8 of those. Why did Edwards only have 3 attempts? Oh, why did Hill only have 3? What happened in Baltimore? So let's not question Lamar. Let's question play calling, because Lamar does certain things well, but it takes a running game for him to be his best.
Listen, I think you're totally right. Their running backs only had 5 touches in the second half. For a team that is built on the run game, and a great defense, okay? Not an average defense, not a mediocre defense, a great defense, great middle linebackers, great safety play. Listen, you gotta what? Dance with the one that brung you, okay? Their run game brung them this far, and then all of a sudden, they got Patrick eyes. They got wide chief eyes and said, hey, we're going to do something different, okay? But you are giving Lamar Jackson a pass. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. If this was another quarterback, if this was anybody else, hey, we're going to mention the one interception, but we're really not going to get into it. You're giving him a pass, right?
No, the throw to Likely in the end zone was absolutely absurd. No quarterback should ever make that throw. Lamar knew it when he threw the ball. You could see it in his expression. It is what it is. But at that time, he's thrown the ball 37 times. He now feels like a complete failure. He's trying to make up for it, tries to make a play. They went completely off script from everything that worked getting them to this position. And to me, it's the biggest question of the year. Like why did the Baltimore Ravens decide to throw the ball 40 times in the AFC Championship game against probably the best cornerbacks in the NFL? I mean, Ladarius Sneed has given up one touchdown all year. They blanket receivers. That's what they do. That their back end in Kansas City is amazing. And I'm not talking about Swift here. I'm talking about Sneed. I'm talking about those guys that are playing cornerback over there. And so, I did Lamar play his best game? Absolutely not. But the Kansas City Chiefs defense, you mentioned Baltimore, they're no slouches either. They've been one of the top defenses in the NFL all year long. And to come out without that game plan, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So no pass to Lamar. He could have played better, but they went away from everything he's good at. I don't get it.
Well, that Kansas City Chiefs defense has their greatest weapon, plays offense and wears number 15, right? There's a bigger issue. There's a bigger question. There's a legacy question now, because Patrick Mahomes is just playoff. Pat is built different. Let's talk about legacy. We started shooting around on text like, hey, where does he rank right now? So who is he? Is he second right now behind Tommy B?
For me personally, and I've said this 100 times, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid is the best quarterback coach combo I've ever seen in my life. And I don't care. You always say play calling, quarterback coach combo I've ever seen in my life. The way they draw things up, things happen on the field. It's absolutely amazing. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, a legit top 3 combination ever in the history of the NFL. I don't know. But when it comes to Mahomes, where's he at? Listen, I got Tom Brady at number 1. He's going to stay number 1. And I don't think I could pass Manning yet. I don't think Mahomes can. So right now I have Mahomes at I have it Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes. He's on Mount Rushmore right now.
Okay. So he's already passed Brett Favre. He's passed John Elway. I think that's the greater question, is what he's done surpassed John Elway. And I think the answer is yes. I don't think he's surpassed Peyton Manning if you look at the life of work. Yeah, not yet. I think I'm kind of there with you, where it's Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, then we're probably talking Patrick Mahomes. But let me tell you, if he wins another Super Bowl
last year. Yeah, and we had the discussion last year. I want you to play back your memory really quick, where the conversation was, is he on Mount Rushmore yet? And we weren't ready to put him there last year. Matter of fact, I know my fourth best quarterback was John Elway, as was yours. Elway now has to go to 5, right?
Yeah, I think and again, if he loses the Super Bowl, I don't know. Maybe that does change things for me. Maybe it brings Elway, Ben Roethlisberger into the conversation. But I don't think Ben was doing the things that Patrick's doing. So this brought up a brand new question, right? I asked you as a suffering Dallas Cowboys fan, right, with your quarterback, suffering. I said, how many first-round picks is Patrick Mahomes worth?
Yeah, so we went through it. Here's what I think. What an unrealistic question, by the way, which you do often. You always throw these nonsense things at me, and I'm like, how do I even answer that?
They're the best questions.
They are the best questions because it really makes you think about in detail about what you're saying. Look, I think right now I would give up Dak, Micah Parsons, and 4 first-round draft picks for Pat Mahomes right now.
Interesting. That's it.
Right now.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it could be. No, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. That's it. Whatever.
I think Patrick Mahomes is worth 8 first-round picks. 8 first-round picks. And let me explain why before you jump down my throat saying, nah, that's too many. Because he's under contract for 10 more years. Okay?
He is.
I think realistically, he is going to be able to perform at a high level for those 8 years. So I think give up the 8 first-round picks. Give up the 8 first-round picks. If you're Dallas, you're America's team, go ahead. Most teams should give up 8 first-round picks. That's the value of Patrick Mahomes. And I don't want to hear, well, yeah, you're not building. No, you can still hit. You have other draft picks. This isn't a 2-round draft like the NBA.
And Kansas City
They
still
might.
says no.
They might still say, yeah, they'd still say, no, that's okay. Let's
Yeah.
no. Maybe we'll give you Jackson, right? We'll give you Jackson Mahomes. Sure. We'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Take baby
Now, the
brother, keep it
Chiefs are having
rolling.
a great time. Patrick Mahomes is having a great time. But the Lions weren't, right? And this was the play of the
Eminem's
game.
struggling right now. Eminem is struggling right now.
Off the helmet, a team of destiny. So I want to get into a couple things. What were your initial thoughts on the Lions 49ers game?
Again, I'm watching that game and I text you in real time and I'm going, you have to kick that. You have to kick that ball. You have to take the field goal. You have to put the pressure back on San Francisco. You have to make Brock Purdy drive down the field and score. Not saying they wouldn't have, but you have to do that. Dan Campbell, unbelievable. Listen. I may have broken my TV if I was a Detroit fan. I may have.
You're wrong.
But San Francisco.
You're wrong.
I don't care if you think I'm
You're
wrong.
wrong.
I'm telling you right now.
Let me tell you why you're wrong before you get into San Francisco. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we both agree. Hey, you go with the numbers. You're saying, hey, go up 17 points. That's over 2 scores, right? Go with what is accurately in front of you, right? I'll say 2 things. One, all the analytics say you can't date analytics. You have to marry them. You have to go with them. And if I were to tell you there were 20 opportunities this year for the Detroit Lions to go for it on 4th and 3, so they went for it 20 times, how many did they convert? Just guess.
I don't know. Probably 13, 12.
17 of them. They were 17 for 20 converting on 4th down. Again, in the opponent's side of the field with less than 4th and 3, which is that's what the case was. So I don't think they should have kicked the field goal. I think it was the smart move. This is what, listen, you're hitting at an 85%, right? That's phenomenal. I'm trusting my guys. I'm trusting this is what got us here. Let's do it. That's all I'd say.
I'm still kicking the field goal. I don't care what you say. I don't care what it is. Put the pressure. It's the playoffs. It's for the Super Bowl. Kick the field goal. But listen, here nor there. Detroit, they rally, have a 17-point lead at halftime. Is that what it was? 17 points? Crazy game. San Francisco comes back. Listen, San Francisco, clearly the better team. And here's what I'll say. I said last week, Brock Purdy was the 4th best quarterback left in the playoffs. I was wrong.
The commenters were lighting you up. My favorite comment.
Yeah.
Hey, bang, bang, Niner gang. Brock Purdy showing them.
Yeah, bang, bang, Niner gang. It's true story, too, because, man, that kid, what he did with his legs was just as impressive what he did with his arm. And that kid doesn't miss, man. He doesn't miss. And so kudos to San Francisco, man. The better team won that game.
Bigger story, real quick. Bigger story. Taylor Swift or Mr. Relevant?
Taylor Swift.
I hate you so much. Whatever, dude. I hate you so much. All right, I do want to play a little game with you, right? We've played this before. We've done this before. You immediately
before you move on, I want to ask you one question.
Oh, here we go.
After the Kansas City game, okay? Yeah. And after the 49ers game, when you logged on to Twitter or X or TikTok or Instagram,
Exchangeagram,
you saw photos,
MySpace.
When you saw photos of the game, did you see Kelsey and Swift hugging, or did you see Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
No, you saw Kelsey and Swift hugging.
No, because
don't lie to me, because it was on every feed I have.
The algorithm on my phone is different from the algorithm on your phone.
You're still a Swiftie. You're lying to me right now. I know it. You're
lying.
Look
at more sports. I look at more sports stuff. You look at the entertainment. Okay, we don't know you're a stats guy.
How dare you lie to all these people listening right now? How dare you?
Listen, we told Travis to stay away from that girl. She's nothing but bad news for you, Trav. Uncle Travie, you got to stay away from her. I want to get back to our game because you lit Dan Campbell up. So let's play a little blame pie, right?
All right, let's do it.
We like to do this 100% of the pie. Okay, divide it up. Who gets what percentage of the blame pie? Is it 100% on Dan? What's your percentages?
I'm going to go 60% Dan, 40% Jared Goff missing throws.
Wow. Wow. So this is all on
Yeah.
two people. I mean, listen,
Well,
Cam.
I mean, there's more reasons, but if I have to go right off top, like if I'm looking at it, like did Williams catch everything thrown at him? No, but did he make some good
No.
plays? Yeah. And
Yeah,
so, but if I look at it, Jared Goff missed a couple throws that would have been
he
first
did.
down. He was short on the fourth down throw. He missed a throw in the end zone, and then Dan Campbell with a couple egregious calls. And so that's where I'm going to go. And I'm going to go 70-30. Final answer. There, Paul.
Wow. 70% on Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
30% on Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Detroit.
I'm going to take your 30%, and listen. My pie looks as follows. Okay, I have 30% for Dan Campbell. Yes, he learned a lot. Okay, but he shouldn't get more than a third of the blame. No, absolutely not.
You can't learn on the go in the AFC in the NFC Championship. You can't learn on the go.
You learn through failure. You learn through failure.
This is not
you
Rosetta
learn through
Stone.
experience. If you don't have the experience, you cannot get the understanding. That's not how it works. I should know. I'm a teacher, fool. So 30%, let's check my math because I don't teach math. 30% goes to Dan Campbell. 20% I'm going to the pass catchers. Reynolds, I'm looking at you. For him to come out after the game and be like, man, whatever. Some days it's like that. Like, whatever, dude. No. Again, Jameson Williams, hands like feet. 20% goes to the DBs. DBs, come on, man. You cannot talk your talk, wave your wave, and then perform like that.
Unbelievable.
Another 20% goes to the fans, the Detroit fans who did not show up. Okay, so 20%. I'm putting this on you, Detroit fans. Okay, maybe you're just so hyped up about your Michigan win that you forgot the Detroit Lions could have went to a Super Bowl.
I'm glad you called them out.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you called them out. One of the worst fan bases in all of NFL, Detroit Lions fans. Cowboys, best fan base.
Okay, whatever. They're fair weather fans. All right, so 30 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. You counting along with me? What am I left with?
Yeah, you're left with 10.
I got 10% left. I'm giving that 10% blame to Eminem. Eminem.
Ooh.
You should know better. The sports gods don't like it when you start pestering other people. When you start throwing the bird out, maybe he was showing them, hey, this is what the state of West Virginia looks like. I don't know what he was doing with that. Do not do that. Karma sucks. You learned about karma now because you did it. And what happened? Don't call it a comeback. As LL Cool J says, they've been here for years. So that's
backseat of my G. Oh, no. Okay. Been here for years. Got it. That's the one.
Yeah. Listen, blame pie. 30% Dan Campbell.
You blamed Eminem. It was his own kamikaze, not a reference to the album, a reference to what he did there at the stadium. Kamikaze. Stick to mom's spaghetti, okay? And let's keep it rolling.
Stan would have been very upset. But
Stan is upset.
Stan is upset. Now
Stan Campbell is what I call him. Stan Campbell after those calls.
I have one question because it's kind of lingering, okay? Kyle Shanahan, did he exercise some first half demons right then? Did we see him exercise some demons?
Yeah, I think you and I have been saying it for a long time. He's a top 5 coach in the NFL. Brilliant mind. Listen, they probably would have won a Super Bowl already had it not been for some injuries. And so Kyle Shanahan. I got nothing bad to say.
28-3. Kyle Shanahan, everybody's going to go back to 28-3. He was the offensive coordinator. You lost to the Patriots. Okay. All right. When they came back on Atlanta. This was kind of similar. This was, hey, we're down big. Nobody's expecting us to win. People, I guarantee you some Detroit fans were booking their ticket to Vegas. Yep. Exercise some demons. We'll see if that can continue. Next week, we're going to do predictions because we got a little while for some prop bets, some predictions, some stuff like that. So tune in next week. We'll get into more of that. But I do want to talk about some important people, right? Some very important people, some KC, some 49ers, who we got. So we are going to do the 10 most important people of the Super Bowl draft. This isn't a snake draft. I'm going to go first by luck of the draw. You saw it. I texted you. I
Yeah,
saw
right. You set it up. You
Wheel
set
of
it up.
Names.
I don't care.
Wheel of Names said I'm going first. So I'll go first. With my first pick, the most important person, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes. There isn't another. Listen, he can single-handedly win the game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the most important person. Who do you have second?
Yeah, at number 2, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Nick Bosa. The only way to disrupt Patrick Mahomes, you got to get to him. You got to get to him quickly. And so I really wanted to go with Fred Warner. I think he's the best player on that defense. I'm going to go Bosa on the defensive line. Him and Chase Young are tied for 2.
I love that for you. He wasn't even on my list. I don't think he is a
No.
top 10 most important person. My second pick, okay, who I think is the third most important because we're doing this together. We're a team. I'm going to go Travis Kelce. You have to go Uncle Trav, right? I'm going to go Travis Kelce. Kelce has to be. He has played possum all year. Everybody said he's washed, the Taylor curse, including us. And you know what? Maybe he was just playing us all for fools and said, I'm on load management. I'm not even going to play the last game. I don't care about 1,000 yards. I care about a ring. Travis Kelce is our third most important person. Who do you have as our fourth most important person?
I love that pick, by the way. At number 4, I'm going to go Chris Jones, okay, because McCaffrey's going to be running the ball up the middle. You know what San Francisco wants to do with Debo. You know what they want to do with McCaffrey. I'm going to go Chris Jones. Look, you got to put the stops in the middle.
Listen, again, not even on my list. He was on my original list, but I swapped him out for somebody. Hey, you left me. This is great. It's all going chalk for me. I'm going Debo Samuel. Listen, the 49ers just play differently when Debo's out there. Kyle Shanahan made halftime adjustments, and the biggest adjustment was maybe Debo should get the rock a little bit. This running back, wide receiver matchup nightmare. Yeah, Debo, to me, he's the fifth most important person on the field. Who do you got at 6?
Yeah, at 6, he could have been at 4 or 3 or 2. I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey. You're going to have to take the pressure off of San Francisco. You're going to have to slow the clock down. You're going to have to keep time, control the time in this game. Christian McCaffrey is going to be the way they do that in San Francisco. I'm with Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, there we go. See, listen, we've picked all 4 of my top players. So this is good. I'm going to my number 5th most important person, Andy Reid. Andy Reid has got to be the 5th most important person. There are coaches that just are the calm in the storm. And Andy Reid was not that when he was in Philadelphia, but he has turned into the best active coach that we have right now. And it's not even close.
All right. And for mine, I'm going to go Fred Warner. Somebody's got to blanket Kelce. Somebody's got to cover the middle. Kansas City eats up the middle of the field. Hey, listen, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, they're great sideline to sideline. They're great all over the field. But I'm going to go Fred Warner here. He's going to be, that's next.
I could go a lot of places. He was on my list, so I appreciate you doing that. Listen, I could go a lot of places. But you know what? Where I'm going to go? I'm going to go Mr. La Tech himself. I'm going to go the guy that you mentioned earlier, L'Jarius Sneed. I'm going to go L'Jarius Sneed. If he can lock up Debo or even Ayuk, or if he can lock up Kittle, it's going to be a chest nightmare, okay? And he is a physical cornerback. He's going to shove you to the ground. He's going to make sure you wake up and know. So I'm going Sneed as the 9th most important player or person in the Super Bowl. Who do you got wrapping us up at 10?
This is easy. And we just talked about this guy and said, how did we sleep on him? How did the draft sleep on him? How did all these teams sleep on him? How does he keep showing how good he is, how great he is? It's not Kyle Shanahan. This is Brock Purdy, Mr. Relevant himself, Brock Purdy. There are going to be times where he's going to have to make throws, and there's going to be pressure in the Super Bowl, right? Biggest game he'll ever play. He wanted to play last year before, whenever it was, didn't get a chance. Brock's there this year. I expect Brock to do great things. Listen, there were 4 quarterbacks left last week. Brock was the second best that we saw play last week.
I
it's
love it.
It's going to be a Mahomes-Brock show, and yeah. I think it's going to be great.
That's fantastic. Again, rounding up, let me wrap up. The No Plays Off podcast, 10 most important people with the Super Bowl. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Nick Bosa. At 3, Travis Kelce. At 4, Chris Jones. At 5, Debo Samuel. 6, Christian McCaffrey. 7, Andy Reid. Number 8, Fred Warner. Number 9, L'Jarius Sneed, and number 10, Mr. Relevant, Brock Purdy. Some honorable mentions. I do want to throw some honorable. Steve Spagnuolo, right? If
Sure.
he can give the 49ers problems, awesome. And then Kyle Shanahan, of course, has to be on there. So listen, great list, buddy. Great list. Great mock. We
Yeah,
killed that.
and next on mine would have been Trent Williams. Okay,
Good call.
keeping Chris Jones and them out of the backfield. Listen, Kansas City not known for all the pressure they put on quarterbacks, but they do put pressure on quarterbacks, right?
They do.
And so Trent Williams is going to be important in that game.
Listen, I think the over-under right now is what, 50, 56, 57? I think that's on DraftKings, FanDuel, something like that. I know it's bouncing around between 54 and 57. So we're approaching that 60 points, right? Now, 60 points happens to be pretty special in another place, right? That's right. Let's get into the NBA, baby. Listen, they were putting football over-unders up, okay? We're not talking, hey, 30, 32, 34. No, we're talking 50s, 60s, 70 pointers. What is up with all these high-scoring players, man? What was your take on it?
I think it's listen. I'm not saying there's not an immense amount of talent in the NBA. Karl Anthony Towns puts up 60. Booker puts up 60.
Losses.
Luka puts up 70.
Win.
Embiid puts up 70.
Win.
Listen, these guys are amazing. You know what's lacking in today's NBA?
You're going to say defense?
Rules for the defense, okay? Like, you're supposed to score. Like, these teams are putting up a $140 in regular time. Like, it's not even going to overtime, and teams are scoring $130 and $140. It is what it is. Listen, kudos to them, though. It's impressive. These guys are unstoppable. It's a lot of fun. Not saying they would do that if Jordan or Kobe were guarding them, but it's good.
Listen, I love the performances. I also thought the performances were indicative of the players. Booker scoring 60 in a loss, Cat scoring 60 in a loss is just on course. It's on par. And Embiid dominating, dropping 70, 18 and 5 or 17 to 18. I mean, it's in a win, in a dominant win. And then Luka dropping 73, 10 and 5 in a dominant win it speaks to the aura of the players. Certain dudes are hoopers and bucket getters, and certain guys get the buckets while also winning.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference because we saw it. You saw Booker and Cat shoot their way out of a win. Luka and Embiid shot their way into a win. And so it is what it is with these guys. Yeah, you hit it on the head.
Who do you think's the best scorer in today's game?
Pure scorer?
Yeah, I think I think two questions. So who do you think is the best pure scorer in today's game?
Pure scorer in today's game, I'd probably have to go with SGA, Booker, Luka's up there. These guys can put the ball in the hoop, and they do it in multiple ways.
If you had one guy to get you a bucket at the end of the game, who do you trust the most? Is it still Steph? Is it LeBron?
Steph Curry, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Steph, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a great question. I think, but for a while there, it was LeBron, right? It was LeBron. He's the guy. He's the guy we trust at the end. And he iced it with free throws the other night. I mean, like it or hate it, he iced it. He might have saved Darvin Ham's job. They are now above 500. They are above. Listen. Hashtag sliced ham is gone. We are hashtag save the ham. Okay. We might be hashtag spam. I don't know. What are your thoughts as a Lakers fan?
Well, we're 500 after the horrible loss last night, night before last, whenever it was. But yeah, I think it was wasn't it last night? Did we lose last night? We did. We lost to the Rockets last night by 20 points. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. Jalen Green, Whitmore came out and scored like 90, shot the ball perfectly. Crazy. Hey, listen,
Davis didn't play though, right?
Whatever. So what do I think about the Lakers? Look, the Lakers season is not saved yet. Now, we are inching closer to trade deadline. Pelinka's got to pull the trigger. And if we're going to keep Ham, at least they came out and were like, hey, like these are our starters. You know what I mean? They went Vanderbilt, AD, LeBron, D'Angelo, and Reeves. Working around that, whatever, I feel better about that than toying with the roster. Every depth chart's different. You know what I mean? So Lakers still have work to do, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm not worried. Again, I'm a Celtics fan. I'm a Luka Doncic fan. I'm not a Lakers fan at all. But isn't this what we saw last year? We saw them. They're kind of hanging around. Made moves at the deadline, moves that were great. Went on a run, went on a deep playoff run. Made it to the Western Conference Finals. Break out the brooms, got swept by Denver, but still, they went on a hell of a run. I think that's what they have to do this year.
Well, I think right now what they've done, which I'm very thankful for, is they're building a lot of value in D'Angelo Russell. Right now, D'Lo's he's on a hot streak. We're getting value for him right now. That's all I wanted to see as a Lakers fan.
They're not getting value for him. They're not going to get value for him. He is a contract filler guy. He's not a value guy. So you're completely wrong. I don't care what you say. It's he in your heart of hearts, it scares you to death if he's on the floor to end games.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. But that's why somebody's going to buy him at a high price. We'll get something for him.
We'll see.
It's the Lakers.
I got a question. Right now, would you rather have D'Angelo Russell or Dennis Schroeder?
Oh, D'Lo. Yeah, D'Lo.
Okay.
But I want Schroeder too.
Interesting. I think I would have Schroeder just because defensively. I think that's again. I don't think they need more offense. I think they're going to have as much offense as they need. But I do want to play that. I do want to play that game with you. Let's play a little this or that. So I'm going to give you two players and tell me if you're starting a franchise, who you starting with. Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about, listen, we've talked about him a lot. Okay. Let's talk about your Rocket Man, Alperen Şengün, and Paolo Banchero. Right. So if you're starting a franchise, who you got?
Give me Paolo.
Why?
To me, that one's easier. He's a better pure scorer than Şengün. He has length. He's still long. Can guard the wing. Can semi guard the paint. I'm going to go with Paolo.
Okay,
better shooter.
I'm going to go Şengün. I think he has blossomed. I think he's going to be in the conversation for most improved player this year, along with Tyrese Maxey. I just think he's a different version of Jokic. He is becoming very Jokic-like. So he can listen. He can put the ball on the ground. He can dribble a little bit. He can feed. And he does defend a little bit. All right. He's not a negative defender. So Alperen Şengün, that's what I'm going with. Okay.
All right. I'm going Paolo. You're going Şengün.
Next one. We know where we're going. Chet or Wemby? Who are you starting with? Why?
This one's easy. Give me Wemby. He's a freak. The guy's a freak. He can shoot inside. He can shoot outside. He's got enough dribble to get around any of the bigs. He's faster. He's going to put on some weight. Same with Chet. He'll put on weight too. They'll muscle up in the NBA a little bit. But I think Wemby is going to be the better all-time player than Chet. Give me Wemby.
Again, this is why we're this or that. I'm Team Chet. I'm Team Chet. I think he has a better shot. I think Wemby's shot it's getting there. It's still a little weird at times. Listen, he's a plus defender. He's an all-world defender. That's what happens when you're 8'12". Chet has the better shot. I think he has got the better all-around game. I loved watching these two go head-to-head a couple weeks ago. This was fantastic. This is going to be a conversation that I hope we continue to have, them just going after each other, right?
Yeah.
Let's go from big guys to little guys. Listen, Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton? Who are you starting your franchise with?
I'm going to go Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's a better floor general, a little more length, which is important in today's NBA. Just as good a shot. I'm going to go Halliburton.
Yeah, we are together on this. Halliburton is the key. I think he grew up a lot playing Team USA basketball. Listen, I love it when guys play Team USA basketball for FIBA and everywhere else because I think it gets them involved in other things. His role was a distributor, and he did it darn well. Okay, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. Hey, I wanted to be in Sacramento. You didn't want me. You thought Sabonis was a better player. I'm going to show you. I love the fact that he's a combo, two-way threat. He can play defense. He's a great shooter. I would go Tyrese Halliburton as well. Now to some maybe underperforming guards, De'Aaron Fox and Trae Young.
Give me De'Aaron Fox in this one. I think he's a little he's got more juice to him. Takes slightly better shots than Trae does right now. I know he's not as great as distributor as Trae is, but I think defensively he's better than Trae. Sprints down the floor a lot better than Trae. I'm going to go, that's where I'm going. I'm going to De'Aaron Fox.
This was the hardest one for me. When I started, when we were texting back and forth going, "Hey, I wonder, who's on the same level?" And this is reluctantly. I'm going to take Trae Young because I
Ooh.
don't think we're too far off from him taking that, that Atlanta team to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think there's so much more to his game that we could see. If you swap them, if you put De'Aaron Fox on Atlanta and you put Trae Young in Sacramento, I think Sacramento is probably a top 3 team in the West. I think it might be a top 2 team in the West. I think Trae Young has a lot to his game, still left out there. So reluctantly, I would take Trae Young. Next one. This is going to be a hard one. Jason Tatum or Jamal Murray?
This one isn't hard. Listen, there's no more important position in the NBA than a wing defender. And if you have a wing defender who can score, can dribble, can play defense, that's where you need to go. I'm going to go Jason Tatum, and to me, this one was easy.
See,
Now I'm a huge Jamal Murray fan.
That's wild because you love Jamal Murray. You say he's the most important Nugget.
I do. I think he is the most important Denver Nugget. But I think that Jason Tatum, by far, is the better NBA player.
Yeah, I think it's Jason Tatum. I'm still, as a Celtic fan, I'm still waiting to see that ascension to top 2 MVP, top 3 MVP. And this year,
You're not going to see it until they change that team. Brown's got to go before you see Tatum take that step.
I don't know. I think watching Jason Tatum this year, he's played a lot different. He's a lot more physical. He's driving to the hoop. He just scares me in the last 3-4 minutes of the game with these fadeaway jumpers. Like, stop, just keep going, drive to the hoop, man. Listen, when Kobe, and because you're a Kobe aficionado, you loved Kobe. Kobe was your guy. When Kobe got in trouble, when things got difficult, Kobe drove to the hoop and said, "Thank you. I'm going to take the and one every single time. I'm going to go through your chest."
He'll get there. That's coaching also.
I think it is. The next one, Devin Booker or SGA.
I mean, Devin Booker's not really a young guy anymore, right? So if I'm starting a franchise, give me a 23, 24-year-old SGA. I think that's where it's got to go. SGA is, listen, and I've not been a big proponent of his, but the kid is a triple-double threat every time he's on the floor. He plays offense. His vision's incredible. Could be a slightly better defender, but Booker doesn't defend. Okay, so I'm going to go SGA here.
That's wild. That's wild. You just pulled a Kevin Hart. You just aged him out. He's 27, and you aged the dude out like crazy. You're like,
well, you put him against a kid.
That was that. How old is Devin Booker? 27. Damn. Sorry. You just pulled that. I would go SGA too. There's this weird thing with Kentucky guards. Kentucky guards look so much better in the NBA, and Booker and SGA are both Kentucky guards. They look so. How has John Calipari not won another national championship? But I would take SGA. He's fantastic. Like you said, better 2-way player, and I don't think he's reached that potential yet. He's not 26. He's not 27. Devin Booker might be at the peak of his powers. SGA is not there yet.
Hey, listen, imagine what it would look like if the Phoenix Suns actually used Devin Booker as a floor general, and he was the second best player on the roster.
They'd be the 2024-2025 Phoenix Suns.
What are they doing? You got Kevin Durant. You know what I mean?
Listen, Devin Booker might not be the second best player on the Suns. Grayson Allen, 50, 40, 90, Mr. Duke. I'm just saying. Okay, don't at me for that. Don't aggregate me. The last one, this or that. Joel Embiid or Luka Doncic. These are our 70-point scores from this week. Again, who would you go with? This is going to hurt you.
I think you're aging out Embiid, right? Listen, if we were in 2005 or anywhere before 2005, I'm going Embiid every day because bigs were the way of the NBA. Yeah. Right now, I don't think there's a better player in basketball than Luka Doncic. I think Embiid's the best player in basketball. I think Luka's very close second best player in basketball. Maverick, shame on you for not being able to put a team around him that actually plays to his abilities and what he's good with. I'd have to go Luka Doncic here.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. I think Luka Doncic. I've loved his game since he was drafted. He should have never been drafted third. He should have been drafted first. Phoenix shouldn't have taken DeAndre Ayton over him. Sacramento shouldn't have taken Marvin Bagley. Atlanta should have never made the swap so they could get Trae Young. They should have just kept Luka. So Luka is clearly the better player than Joel Embiid, and he's done
he's
it
not
in the
better
playoffs.
player.
He is.
He's not the better player. He's not.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay.
No, because you're saying stupid
sorry, my
stuff right now again.
conversation was messed up with your interruption. Okay. Listen,
You've been doing so well all night long, and then you come with this crap.
It's not crap. Luka has had the better postseason experience, and you can't deny that. At some point, Joel Embiid has to show up in the playoffs. You cannot consider yourself the best if you don't show up in the playoffs.
So your rankings, tell me this: your NBA player rankings are Luka, Embiid, then Jokic.
No, I'd have to take a deeper dive. Right now, if I'm saying best player,
just off top,
it's probably
best player.
So, I'm gonna get best player in the NBA: Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid. That's my rankings. Top three.
No, it's definitely Embiid, Luka, then Jokic.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
You
can't be the best player if you don't have a ring. I don't make the rules.
You can.
I don't make the rules.
You can. LeBron was the best player for many years before he won a ring. He didn't win a ring until he went and teamed up with Dwayne Wade, who carried him to a ring. I don't want to hear it.
You would have argued he's not the best player in the league because he doesn't have a ring. Kobe's better. That's what you would have argued. Guarantee you.
Well, Kobe was better. Matter of fact, I want to state this live right now to you.
Well, recorded.
My all-time greatest players in the NBA ever. I'm going to go Michael Jordan at number 1, but before LeBron James would be Kobe Bean Bryant. There you go.
Wow.
I said it. Whatever.
Wow.
He was a better basketball player than LeBron James. He didn't play as long. R.I.P. Kobe. He was a better ball player than LeBron, defensively and offensively.
That's wild. That's going to get aggregated. Yep. Clip that. Hey, production, you hear that? Clip that. Love it, man. I love it. Listen, great show.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me he wasn't better defensively. Who was better defensively, Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe was better defensively.
Who was better offensively? Shooting the ball? Who was better?
Who's better offensively or shooting the ball?
Who's offensively?
I don't know. I don't. It's very hard for me to say that Kobe's a better all-around offensive player than LeBron James.
If you had to get a bucket, who are you picking?
That's a different question. If I have to get a bucket, if I have to get a bucket, let me explain the whole thing. If I have to get a bucket, I'm going Kobe. If I have to make the right basketball play, I'm going LeBron.
Basketball's about getting buckets. That's the right play. You had the right choice. Kobe Bean Bryant.
Tell that to Ray Allen, right? Made the right basketball play. Tell that to Steve Kerr. Tell that to John Paxson. Tell that to your GOAT, Michael Jordan, right? He made the right basketball play. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Kobe passed the ball to Robert Horry.
Kobe passed to everybody in that one playoff series. You don't want me to score? Fine, I won't score. You go ahead. Who's it? Smush Parker? He goes, Smush, go ahead, bro. Y'all think y'all always saying I shoot the shots? I'm gonna give it to somebody. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Listen, that's our show today. Next week we got a couple things. We're definitely gonna get into prop bets. Before we go, who should be the favorite for Gatorade? The Gatorade prop bet. Who do you think the favorite should be? Red? Is
probably.
it red?
What was it? Purple last year?
I don't even remember last year.
I think this year the favorite. I haven't looked at it. I think red would be the favorite, or orange.
Both teams wearing red. Could be red. I'm going blue. When in doubt, blue it out. Okay.
That's where I was at because of our logo.
With our logo, baby. It's
going to be the No Plays Off podcast Gatorade pool. That's what it is.
I love it. I love that for you. It wasn't even on my list, but I love that for you. For Alex Gullett, I'm Paul Nelson. And remember, we're taking No Plays Off.